2019, to Dean Dr. Lawson Borders, faculty, staff, and to my fellow classmates, and to all of the families and friends sitting in the stands. It is my honor to come before you on this auspicious occasion. I would have never imagined me standing on this stage 40 plus years ago before my graduating class. I was asked to tell you my story, my journey. The theme I bring to you is rise up, take courage, and do it. From the Bible passage, Ezra, 10th chapter, 4th verse. I'll begin with courage. In 1975, I began my studies in broadcast journalism at Hunter College in New York City. In 1977, I moved from my home in the boogie-down Bronx, New York, to Washington, D.C. A few months after arriving in D.C., I met a lady by the name of Peggy Penn, who wanted to know what were my goals. I told her to become a television producer. She asked if I were interested in attending Howard University, and of course I said yes, but I did not have the funds to attend. She asked, why not become employed at Howard and you can matriculate under the university's remission of tuition plan. As it turned out, Peggy Penn was the first career development officer at the new Howard University School of Communications. I began employment at the College of Dentistry as a secretary. I enrolled in the School of Communications in 1978. I attended classes until 1980. The university then had a policy that employees under remission of tuition could not take classes during the workday, not even during your lunch hour. Only after work and on the weekends, whatever classes they had on the weekends. I'm glad that changed. By 1980, I had taken all the electives I could, but I could not take my required courses because they were scheduled during the day. Therefore, I could not continue my studies, but I remained an employee of the university. I really wanted to become a television producer. I decided to apply for a job at WHUT-TV, Howard University Television, the first African-American owned and operated PBS station in the That was in 1990. I was hired as a secretary in the operations department, which allowed me to have access to all the departments in the television station. I paid close attention to the inner workings of the station. In 1996, I decided it was time for me to take a chance and go into TV production. After 3 attempts at pitching a documentary idea, I was given the green light. I thought they would assign me a staff producer, but I was told, no, you're going to do this yourself. I swallowed and said, okay, never having produced a documentary in my life. Next is Rise Up. I began producing this documentary every evening after working hours because I was still a secretary. When it was completed, my first documentary entitled Swing, Bop, and Hand Dance received an Emmy nomination. Also, for this body of work, I became the first African American and the first woman to receive the PBS Jerry Trainer Award for my contribution to public television. After receiving the Emmy nomination, I went on to become an associate producer at Howard University Television, producing segments for the public affairs program Evening Exchange with Kojo Nambi. I later became lead producer for Evening Exchange. I also produced other public affairs programs, documentary shorts, and interstitials for WHUT. Within the 10 years as a producer, I received 24 television awards for broadcast excellence. Also within that time frame, frame, I produced my own independent documentary, Dance Party, The Tina Rama Story, my first documentary production for which I own the rights. Dance Party, The Tina Rama Story aired on 100 PBS stations nationwide, and for which I received my first Emmy Award. In 2009, I retired from Howard University and WHUT, and I wonder, are you asking, how old is she? Well, I'm going to say, I'm a proud 65-year-old. In 2016, God put a bug in my ear and said, it's time for you to go back to Howard University and finish the BA degree in television you started in 1976. I then enrolled as a student, returning student in the spring semester of 2017. It wasn't easy. My first semester back was a challenge. Getting up for early classes, walking up the hill, walking down the hill, walking back and forth across the yard, getting my mind quickly into academia. At times I would say, why did I do this? But I remembered that it was God's will for me. I have my company, Kendall Productions. One of my accomplishments during my 2 years here as a student was that I was able to recruit 2 of my classmates for an internship and production tech on a documentary I was commissioned to produce. Hidea Harvey and Tommy Crockett, please stand. Thank you. I want to thank you for your dedication, and I enjoyed working with you, and I wish you the best in your future. Here I stand before you, a baby boomer student receiving a Bachelor's of Arts degree at Howard University. It's never too late. Determination, putting your priorities in place. Gather your support community to guide you and keep you motivated, especially when you feel you're sinking. Not just in school, but as you navigate this world. And with that said, I would like to say thank you to my husband, Bill, a Howard alum, who did Quizlet flashcards with me during testing time. And there were times when I was ready to give up, and my husband said, you can do this. And I would say, I can't. And he would say, yes, you can, and begin to talk me through assignments. The only assignment he could not talk me through was Spanish. Because he would say, oui, oui, instead of si, si. But I would end up with an A in the course. I actually ended up with 13 A's and 2 B's. Not 2 B's, I'm sorry, 5 B's. 13 A's and 5 B's over my years here. To the rest of my family, friends, classmates, faculty, and staff. There's so many faculty that really helped me, that reached out and soothed my nerves and kept me going. So the classmates, faculty, and staff who helped me and inspired me to keep my eyes on the prize. And in closing, my advice to all of you, graduates as well as parents, follow your dreams and aspirations. No matter how long it takes, no matter what the challenge is, you can make it happen. Rise up, take courage, and do it. Thank you.